Hi guys, it's Megan. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the Colourpop Sephora Golden State of Mind palette. This is the look that I created with it today, but I have been using it for about a week so that I could give you guys a real review. So if you're interested to see where I think this palette falls short and find a cheaper alternative, keep watching. So the first thing that I want to do is show you guys the difference between the Golden State of Mind palette and the Cute AF palette, which I'm going to be using to round out the look. The Cute AF palette has 12 shades in it. There are definitely some shimmers. I believe there are 4 shimmers in this palette, but there are also a lot of matte shades. This palette was $16. The Golden State of Mind palette has 15 shades and it was $26. So for 3 shadows, you're looking at a price difference of $10. And of course that is just because it's, you know, a Sephora collaboration, so it's supposed to be a little bit more high-end. The thing that I find really challenging about this palette is that every single shadow in here is not only shimmery, but like foiled. A lot of the shades are very similar, and while on the box you can tell what the shade differences are pretty easily, when you're actually looking at the palette, these ones all look so similar until you swatch them, so it's kind of difficult to use. You guys know that I am like the champion of shimmer in the crease, but these are too shimmery. So it's kind of impossible to get a full eye look out of this one palette, which is disappointing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the Cute AF palette to do my crease and then switching over to the Golden State of Mind palette. I'm going to start out with this color right here, which is like a matte red color, and I'm just going to use that to start with in my crease. Oh, I love this Cute AF palette so much. It is so incredibly pigmented and the shades are so pretty. Just doing that very sloppily for the moment. And then because what would a Megan Acuna tutorial be if we didn't put shimmer in the crease, I'm going to be using this color right here, which is called Bling. This is like a deeper, more brown red, so it's going to balance this out nicely, and then I promise we'll blend. Now I'm just going to take my Tarte Fluffy blending brush and I'm going to blend the edges out because they are very, very harsh right now because I kind of just like plopped it on there. Another thing about this palette too is that, I mean, neither of these do because the price point is so low, but they don't have mirrors, so I have to have like an external mirror, which is a little bit annoying. I'm just taking this nude color right here, full zip, and using that to blend out the edges. Okay, now that we've got a crease that kind of works, we're going to start with the Golden State of Mind palette. So I've used this palette already for a couple of days because I wanted to give you guys a review on it and not a first impressions. I'll start with the good. All of these shades are extremely pigmented, like really, really, really pigmented. However, the glitter in them is really, really chunky. So they're kind of hard to blend. They fall out like crazy and it's difficult to clean up your under eye area. And like I said earlier, there are no matte shades, so that's a little bit frustrating. I have to actually look at the back of this to see what colors I want to use because they swatch so differently than they look in the pans. So I'm going to use a combination of these 2 colors right here. This one is called Wing Woman and this one is called Uptight. So I'm going to start with Wing Woman and I'm just going to use a flat brush to kind of press that into like the outer half of my eye. I'm going to like try to hold my mirror and do this at the same time. I feel like I'm using my hand like really weirdly. So you can see what I mean about them being really pigmented. Like that's a lot of color. Also, these don't pick up well on a brush. Like I just dipped this brush into the product like a lot and it basically only comes off like around the edges. I actually think I'm going to use my finger for this because otherwise I'm not going to get any color. My finger, you get like a lot right away. Like if you can get them to work with you, they're gorgeous. It's pretty, it's a very pretty color. Color has a little bit of gold shimmer in it, which is really pretty. I like doing monochrome looks like this when the glitter gives it a little bit more dimension. I clean up the inside corners of my eyes. Then I'm going to take it on the brush, just kind of underneath. Again, this doesn't work terribly well, picking them up on a brush and then trying to just stick to your eyeballs. And then for a little bit of dimension, I'm going to take this color, which is Drizzle. I'm just going to pat that onto the center of my lid. And again, I'm using my finger because trying to use anything else is pointless. Another thing is because they're so foiled, it's kind of impossible to like highlight like under your brow bone and in the corners of your eyes. I'm gonna attempt to take this color, which is Watch Out, and put it in the corners of my eyes. We'll see how it goes. Hold on, I'm gonna focus you real quick. Look at how chunky this is on my finger. That's insanity. That's just, it's excessive. This is what I was talking about earlier when I was saying that it doesn't pick up on the brush super well. And you see you can kind of get that highlighted and then you get a mess under here. Just an absolute wreck. And it's impossible to get off. Like without washing your entire face multiple times, it's impossible. So I zoomed you guys in so you could see this is what the eyeshadow looks like. Pretty colors, not a great shade selection, so you kind of have to go with like a monochrome look because they don't pair together very well. And if you can see, all of the fallout in here is just insane. And I brought, so here's a Q-tip, and try to get rid of it. And it's still there, like especially right here in this crease. Hope you guys can see that, but it's just really disappointing. Alright, so I am gonna go put some liner and some mascara on, and then I will come back to you guys for final thoughts on this palette. Alright, so I'm back, and this is the finished look that the palette created. I worked really hard to try to clean this up under here, but it's kind of impossible. So here are my final thoughts on this palette. Even though it's tempting to go to Sephora and pick up a palette that has 15 shades in it for $26, this palette is not worth it. And I hate saying that because I love some of the other stuff that Colourpop puts out. The shade selection in this is not great. You can't do a full eye look with it because there are no matte shades. The fallout is insane, and it's difficult to tell what color is what when you look at the actual shadows in the pan. You have to look at everything through the box, which is annoying. If you're looking for a cheap palette that's gonna be really good and be able to do like comprehensive looks, I highly recommend the Cute AF palette. Even with shipping, it's cheaper, and I promise you the 12 shades is enough. Colourpop has some other palettes that have 12 shades like this on their website as well. The Femme Rosa palette, I believe. And then I think there's a palette that's just called She. And in my experience, these palettes are totally worth it. They're inexpensive. The colors work well together. You can create a neutral look, you can create a bold look, and it's just planned way better than this palette is. So unfortunately, I have to give this palette a big old thumbs down. And to be completely honest, I will probably be returning it because I can't see myself ever using this. It's just not worth the hassle. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please click that button because I am trying really hard to get to 500 by the end of the year. If you guys want to know more about the Colourpop Cute AF palette, I do have a review of that one as well, and I'll link that down in the description below. And I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye!